Welcome back. You're still tuned into Power Breakfast, and like we mentioned, the key cue today is that the RBI Monetary Policy will be announcing its decision today. So, a CNBC-TV18 poll expects the Monetary Policy Committee to hold rates steady, while 100% of the participants poll expect a status quo on rates and on stance both, actually. So, Ritu is here with all of the highlights of our poll. Ritu.
I'll start with the backdrop because this monetary policy is coming just a week after the interim budget, which had two positive surprises. The government stuck to the path of fiscal consolidation, and it also lowered its market borrowings for the coming fiscal. Growth seems to be holding up, and core inflation has declined to sub-4% levels. The US Fed has ruled out any rate cuts in March, and the global economy also seems to be heading for a soft landing. So with no big reason to cut or hike rates, the street is going to focus on liquidity more than rates in this policy. And that is because liquidity conditions have persistently remained tight since the last policy, with some moderation that we saw recently. So how much liquidity will RBI provide, and how will it provide it via the VRR rate or some other route? Any action or direction on this front is going to be very important. Now, on the rates, the MPC is expected to leave the repo rate unchanged for the 6th consecutive time because it's going to be hard to justify any rate cut immediately with inflation hovering closer to 6% than the 4% target mark. Now, all of our respondents said that the MPC is going to maintain the policy stance at withdrawal of accommodation. However, there are some economists which pointed out that there's a very small chance that the stance will be shifted to neutral, what with the interbank call rates declining below repo rates. Now, 90% of our respondents expect the tone of the governor to remain absolutely even. Some are expecting him to sound a bit dovish to indicate RBI's comfort with the current growth inflation trajectory. Now, so when will the rate cycle turn? That is a big question, and according to our respondents, that window may not open before the June policy. Half the respondents are expecting the first rate cut in the second quarter of the next financial year, and some in the first quarter itself. Now, the RBI is unlikely to tinker when it comes to the inflation estimates of FY24 as well as the coming few quarters, according to our respondents. But when it comes to the growth forecast, while the majority is leaning towards RBI retaining that 7% forecast for FY24, you have a third saying that the RBI could perhaps revise it upwards in line with NSO's estimates of 7.3%. So that is as far as the policy is concerned. Of course, we're also going to very closely watch out for any comments from the governor on Paytm in the press conference.
All right, Ritu, thanks a lot for taking us through all of the highlights of the poll. We just have around 2 hours till we do get that decision, and you can catch all of the action right here on CNBC TV18. With that, we're going to get into a short break, but on the other side, we're tracking all of the cues from the commodity market. Stay tuned.